Booey, 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 booey! It's story time! The Deadly Catch. I love Deadliest Catch! It's my favourite programme! Hashtag Northwestern is my boat of choice! She wants a lobster.
I'll have more by the end of the day, once the fleet's back in.
Oh dear. They'll be here by then.
Tell you what, Peter Hammond's boat is still tied up at the dock. Why don't you go talk to him? Maybe he'll be able to sell you some straight off the boat.
Peter? Oh no, Peter!
Peter's dead in the hold of the boat.
So this is how you found him, Mrs. F?
Yes, exactly like this.
What do you think, Doc?
As to what stabbed him, I have no idea. It's a very strange-looking wound. Some sort of tube, perhaps. I should think that a wound like that should have resulted in a lot more blood.
Any idea on time of death?
Hard to be sure. Sometime during the overnight hours.
We better have a look around.
In my
and see
medical
what else we
opinion,
can
he's
find.
probably dead. This is classic Lansbury gold, this is. Certain items can be picked up to perform tasks. Notice how...
Don't make me come in
I can't reach the paper with my fingers. I'll need something small that I can use to grab it. My tiny penis! Okay. Peter Hammond. Looks like Peter was having a tough time keeping his loan payments for the boat. I wonder who he owed money to. Oh!
What's going on?
Billy,
I'm afraid I have some bad news for
100%
you,
is a
Billy.
rapist.
Your uncle was murdered last night.
What?
I'm afraid
Actually, I
it's
don't want to
true.
cast aspersions. He's just got that look.
Oh, man.
It's Les Dennis!
The lobster pound is always the nerve center of the fishing community. We should talk to Jim Price.
Do you know if anyone had any disagreements with Peter Hammond?
First person who comes to mind would be Andy Winters.
He wasn't on friendly terms with Peter?
More like unfriendly terms. In fact, they were downright hostile to each other.
Shit. A full clam bucket. Looks like Jim's gathering up clams for an order. I've got a full clam bucket. If you catch my drift. Which one is Andy's boat? I can't remember, but you'll need to be able to tell him by his buoys. Let me find this list of what I know about the locals' buoys. UK English is boy, fair enough, but it's called a buoy on Deadliest Catch, so I'm gonna call it a buoy because that's what lobstermen and crabmen call it. We're playing a crabby game set in Maine, so buoy, 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 David Bowie. So suck my buoy. Based off that information, Andy has a boat with red and blue buoy. Do you want me to say boy? Am I really upsetting people for correctly pronouncing the word?
According to the photo, we're looking for a boat named My Turn, with a red and blue buoy on it.
She said buoy!
I
Oh!
recognize that dock.
Vindicated!
Not far from here.
Vindicated by murder, she wrote! Fuck yes, Jessica Fletcher, fucker! I'll be saying it the right way. Buoy, 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 buoy!
Hi, Sheriff. Jessica. What's all the excitement
I
over
do,
on Peter's
Andy.
boat?
Look at him, he's got that dead-eyed expression
Peter
that I
was
find
murdered
hot.
sometime-
I need to... Oh, there's the yellow buoy. Andy, do you have one of Peter's buoys? Well, the law of the sea demands that when lost gear is found floating on the freeze, you collect it and return it to its owner no matter who lost it. Let's go to the Marine Research Lab.
Sheriff, Mrs. Fletcher, come on in. I'm Greg Young. What can I do for you?
Were you aware that Peter Hammond was killed last night?
I wasn't, yeah.
No. That's terrible. Was it an accident?
I'm afraid not. Peter was murdered.
He was working for you, right?
Yes, he was. I'm working on a project researching the lobster population off the coast, and Peter was helping me gather data.
This is a Fibble Research Lab. He should be ashamed of himself. This is disgusting. These research findings show that we're having a very good season for lobster.
That's interesting to listen to. The lobsterman pickings have been very slim lately, Jessica.
Do you think
Billy
Martin
Hammond
and
says
Jessica
there's
have
been a
ever
break-in on his
fucked?
uncle's boat.
The Cornelia Marie. Who is the captain of the Cornelia Marie? Oh, Phil Harris, who died. Hashtag spoiler alert, deadliest catch. And then his son Jake and Josh took it over, but one of them had a drug addiction problems. I love deadliest catch.
Okay, Billy, what happened here?
Some guy broke in here, was poking around the cabin.
You
He
can
took
poke
off when he
around
heard
my
me coming.
cabin, Billy. There's a buoy. It's a Dominican cigar. It looks like our intruder has some expensive tastes.
Oh dear. Looks like this place has fallen on hard times.
It's the only place I know in Cabot Cove that sells Dominican cigars.
Dominican
Ask
cigars.
around and see if anyone remembers Peter spending any time here.
Ooh, looking for stuff again. Why is there a cucumber in the floor of the bar? That's weird. That is weird. This looks like the appraisal of Cornelia. Peter must have given it to someone here for collateral loan.
And Billy Hammond is listed as the beneficiary now that Peter is dead.
Billy's a fucking dodgy bastard. I said it from the get-go. I'm sticking to my guns.
There's someone smoking one of the Dominican cigars we found at the crime scene.
That's Mick Foley. I should have known. He's
Mick
a
Foley?
notorious loan shark.
Is that not the name of
Enjoying your
somebody?
Dominican cigar, Mr. Foley?
I'll
Yes.
save you some trouble, Sheriff. I was on a Cornelia about an hour ago.
Do you know why Peter fell behind on his payments?
No.
He said the lobsters weren't biting, but I heard through the grapevine he had an ex-wife down in Florida that kept up in the alimony.
I see. So where were you last night?
Right here, working out the details of a loan with a customer.
Andy Winters, apparently, going by this contract I found. What do you think of the deal you offered him?
It sounds like he said contract
Sorry, I
there.
gotta protect my client's confidentiality. Now, if you'll
Excuse me. My name's Mick
So
Foley
it would
and I
seem
gotta
that
go.
Andy was telling the truth about his whereabouts last night.
I'm curious what he was planning to use the money for.
Okay, Andy, we
Oh,
followed
I
up on
forgot
your alibi
Andy.
at the Harborside
It's Andy,
Tavern.
obviously. Hot Andy
You
did
met
it.
with Mick Foley there to discuss a loan, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. With the lobsters getting scarce, I needed the money to get through the season. Fortunately, I should be able to pay the loan back before long. Heard there was a job opening near the docks. Just a little something to do on the side. It looks like Andy Winters is your new assistant on your research project.
I know that replacing him so fast may seem inappropriate in light of Peter's death, but I had no choice. Any lapse in the data collection could ruin a whole season's worth of research.
So when was the last time Peter visited your lab? Sheriff, I'm pretty sure that Billy Hammond was here at the lab the night Peter was killed.
Sheriff, Mrs. Fletcher, what can I do for you?
Her name is Detective
Tell us what you were
Fletcher.
doing at the Marine
Finger
Research Lab
bang!
the night your uncle
So
was
sorry.
killed.
What? I was never there.
I'm afraid you were, Billy. We found the
Hello,
toothpicks
James
you're
Hadley.
always chewing in a wastebasket.
Welcome
there.
to the stream.
Okay, maybe
It's
I
not
did
as good
go
as the
there.
TV show.
I knew Peter was heading that way, and I needed to talk to him.
About what?
Actually terrified I will get
Getting a
shouted
better
at.
percentage. Lately, his catches had been better than average, and I figured I was entitled to more. But when I finally got up the
White
courage to
entitlement.
ask him for a raise, he fired me on the spot.
Billy, do you have any idea what sort of numbers Peter was recording for his lobster catches?
Low for most of the season. But then a couple of months ago, we started getting lucky and began catching a lot
She
more.
does have a hint of the Nicola Sturgeons about her. You're absolutely right there. Who do you think done it? You still Grant, Greg, the marine biologist, Billy, whose family fortune is suffering, Mick Foley, the gangster, or Andy McPubeface? Oh, a lot of votes for Billy. The numbers here bear out what you said, Billy. Several months of low numbers followed by a spike. These later numbers will be considered good catches. Very good! My name's Billy and I'm a fisherman and that's very good! I don't get it. How did a band get on the lobster's claws? Someone must have placed a previously caught lobster on this trap, Billy, you dingbat.
Looks like Jim is out back with some fishermen.
Oh, we shouldn't bother him while he's doing business, Sheriff. Let's just take a quick look around the store while we wait.
I don't think you can search Jim's fishmongery without a warrant, Jessica and Mart.
Pretty slim pickings in this tank. There's only one lobster.
But look, the rubber bands on the claws are the same as the bands we found on the lobster in Peter's trap. Fuck. I think the spotlight may need a change of battery soon.
It must be getting a lot of use lately.
Because he's been doing shadow puppet shows.
Hey, what are you doing here? We're closed.
I know, Jim, and we don't have a
We were
warrant.
hoping you could clear something up for us.
How's the lobster season been so far this year?
Good. Best season we've had in years.
But Jim, if the catch has been so good, why are your tanks nearly empty now? And why did you have so few lobsters yesterday morning that you sent me to Peter instead?
Speaking of Peter's catch, you got an explanation for how a lobster can get into a trap already banded with one of your bands?
What's that? What's he doing with his finger there? What's the sheriff doing with his terrifying finger?
Into Peter's traps, weren't you, Jim?
Oh, he's holding the band.
That's why you have that searchlight, to help you find his traps at night.
Okay, yeah, I was. It was costing me plenty, too, since I had to buy them back from him once he hauled them in.
Why go through all that trouble?
Well, that's one way to
They've
put it,
been
yeah.
defrauding the
I went
Fishing
out after
Games
dark,
Commission,
hauled
and if
Peter's
there's one
traps,
thing
and
I
stocked
know
them with
about the
extra
Fishing Games
lobsters so that the
Commission, they
numbers
will
were
not be
according to the
defrauded.
lab.
Let me guess. You caught
Finger
him tampering
bang!
with his gear, threatened to tell Greg you skewed the data, so you killed him.
No, Peter was clueless.
Besides, Sheriff, if Jim was successfully stacking the deck, then Peter was worth more to him alive than dead.
Yeah, and from the evidence we've seen, I bet that it's Andy who's been doing the helping. Tomorrow we'll have another early morning interview with him.
But tonight, Jessica, I'm taking you back to my crab
Seth
pound.
called me last night. He said the blood traces on those broken pieces of glass match Peter's blood type and not Greg's.
It's going to fill me
he was
bit.
definitely killed at the lab with that broken glassware.
It looks that way. Maybe Greg had a motive we haven't figured out yet. Or maybe Andy made a stop at the lab after he left the Harborside Tavern. Or maybe he and Mick are covering for each other because they killed Peter
fucking-
together.
Well, we can ask Andy about it right now. His boat is right over there.
Poor Andy.
Oh, dear.
Poor Andy's
Andy.
dead.
Looks like someone got to him before we did, Mrs. F.
Oh no, I don't want to touch a dead body. The other one back, Peter's colours. This boat hook must have come off the Cornelia.
And the fact it's got blood on it means we likely found a murder weapon.
I didn't kill Andy. I've been nowhere near the my turn.
I didn't kill him.
Billy, I'm sorry to say that it's getting very difficult to believe you are innocent in all of this.
I'm afraid I'm gonna have to take a look around, Billy.
Look at
Go ahead. I have nothing to hide.
Billy's angry white boy face. Okay, I'm gonna fucking speed through this. Booey! Okay. This buoy feels heavier than I expected it would. Cigars in the buoy, cigars in the buoy. Yeah. Diamonds! Ah, would you look at those?
I'd say that this load of diamonds will be worth risking a run-in with the Coast Guard.
Oh, he's left all his diamonds lying around his pub. Cause he's that kind of a guy. Oh, you want that evidence? Let me just throw it about the room and we'll see if you can pick it up again.
The public library has some strong magnifying glasses on hand for reading very fine print.
The police should have a fucking special...
Then let's get going.
Let's see what's special about these diamonds. Ooh.
Well, this printout confirms that all the diamonds came from the same place, a jewelry heist 20 years ago.
A jewelry heist 20 years ago. Please
I
don't be Jimmy.
remember
Please
when
don't be
that
Jimmy.
happened.
Please don't be Jimmy.
Weren't there 2 men involved?
2 men, 2
Yeah,
suspects.
one was caught, but the other got away, and the diamonds were never recovered. The guy who was caught was named Brian Young, and according to this, he recently died in prison from a heart attack.
Do they list any surviving relatives?
Belly.
One brother, Gregory.
Greg. We found your
yours, Mr.
diamonds, Greg.
You're not going anywhere.
You are the brother of Brian Young,
Brother,
the
not
diamond
son.
thief, aren't you? But more than that, you're also his uncaught accomplice in the theft.
Yeah, I was. I drove the getaway car. But Brian was the one carrying the loot, and he hid the diamonds without telling me where he put them. Then he got arrested.
So why this elaborate setup with the hollowed-out buoys and transmitters?
Well, I couldn't just spend the things on the street. I found a smuggling organization in Canada willing to move the diamonds
Damn
overseas
Canadians.
and deposit the money in a Swiss bank account. Hiding small groups of diamonds in lobster buoys that could be picked up by them was the safest way to make the drops.
Is that where Peter Hammond came in?
Yeah. He answered my ad looking for someone to help collect data for the lobster study.
And Peter, did he have any idea that you were using him?
Not a clue. At least, not until he came to the lab that night and caught me stuffing one of his hollowed-out buoys with diamonds.
You can
How
stuff
did
my
Billy fit
buoy
into
with
all of
diamonds,
this?
Greg.
So you saw Billy
Oh,
and Peter
that, he's
arguing
left-handed.
I saw the whole thing.
Oh, fuck.
Billy knocked Peter flat. And once Billy was gone, I took advantage of the opportunity to get rid of a serious liability.
In other words, you broke a cylinder and stabbed Peter in the back with it, killing him before he could regain consciousness.
Well, Billy
And then
helped.
You moved his body back to the Cornelia using your cart.
I knew Billy would be the prime suspect, but things got complicated when Andy hauled one of Peter's traps and accidentally found a shipment of diamonds inside the float. Andy figured out that the diamonds came from me. He blackmailed me into letting him take Peter's place here and get the diamonds for himself.
He used them to pay off a loan.
Well, maybe they helped him financially, but I couldn't afford to have a blackmailer as a partner.
So you killed him with the boat hook from the Cornelia and spread some toothpicks around in hopes of redirecting suspicion
Come on.
at Billy Hammond.
Any other
Unfortunately
twists?
for you, you were the only logical killer.
Finger bang.
Greg, you're looking at a very long prison sentence. You might be able to get a shot at a slightly more comfortable cell if you help us go
Good
after your
night,
Canadian
dead guy one.
contacts. You sure you want to do this, Billy? It could be dangerous.
My uncle died for this. Let's chart our course.
Oh, here comes the Canadians.
So you can see
The
them.
sheriff
You are
looks
under arrest
sexy
for
right
illegal
now. He's
trafficking
unbuttoned his
stolen
blouse.
You did a good job, Billy. Your uncle would have been proud.
No hints used. No hints used. Brap. Fucking gone yourself, Ashley.
I'm Sean,
And I'm Ashley.
and you can listen to our podcast
Are We Being Unreasonable?
on Apple Podcasts.
And Spotify. Go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts now and subscribe to Are We Being Unreasonable for great, funny conversations with your favourite comedians. Hi friends, you can help support this channel by going to ashleysstoryshop.co.uk and getting yourself some of my cool merch that says like nice buns or you're excellent or nice to meet you. Or you can share it with a friend or you can like and subscribe, whatever you fancy. Thank you for watching.